Did I ever tell you that I was pre-diabetic? Type 2.
The most important thing that you can do. Oh no, the look. Stress can cause insulin resistance.
Black coffee before breakfast.
Oh.
Don't give me diabetes. I'm 28. Do I really want to live like this?
If this issue is resolved before I leave this earth, I will die a very happy woman.
You never go wrong with Prince.
You can't go wrong with Prince.
I can't believe I don't have this in any of my my playlists.
Well, let's change that.
What is wrong with my playlist?
Oh my
goodness! My God!
I'm gonna be a playlist consultant from here on out.
Hi, fam.
No need to.
So Prince
Prince
gets the Prince. If you're younger, a lot younger, well,
man,
Google it. ChatGPT it. Okay.
I did a presentation once, and this was pre-COVID years ago. In my son's school, it was kind of those last days. Teachers are wrapping up. They invite people in to speak to kids, and I did a health, wellness goal talk.
You embarrassed your child, didn't you?
Not my child, myself, maybe myself. So, and I put in there when I was talking about, because it's middle schoolers, they're going to go to high school. It's going to be a really big deal. You know, think about your goals, and maybe you can't see yourself doing something now, but in the future you can. So I was like, what are some good analogies? And then there was one with Ed Sheeran was singing with somebody, like some legend, and people kind of knew who that was. And then I pulled up the picture of Beyonce and Prince singing together. And
that to you is like the most exciting thing.
That was so exciting.
Like so exciting.
So exciting, because I'm like, can you imagine, like, Beyonce once upon a time could never have imagined singing with Prince, and they were all looking at me like, who
the hell are you?
and why
are you here?
Yeah, because I'm like, do you know who that is? And I'm trying to like link it back to goal setting and vision and all of this. And one girl, I think she was just being kind, she raised her hand. She's like, I think I might have heard of him. I'm like, oh, your parents have failed you greatly. It was, so yeah, my son didn't know. He was much younger. But I'm sure if he sees this now.
But your son listens to really cool music thanks to you.
He really does. Yes, that was a goal very early on, like have a mix. And plus also I didn't want to just listen to kiddie music all the time, and but we had different phases. And now
the wheel on the bus.
No, he didn't. I don't even think I played those. They played them at school, but
not at home.
Not too much. No.
Well done, Pam.
Now he's in his high school jazz band, and we'll be on the way to school, and the most amazing music is played. So if I did anything right, I gave him music.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's an achievement. Pam, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
In Hop. Who's Pam?
Who is Pam?
Yeah, really, who are you? Tell them.
I ask myself, who am I?
I still ask myself
that. So today, so I am a certified health, wellness, longevity coach.
Woo! Longevity.
But I don't spend all my time doing that. I am the founder and managing director of a company called DiaPoint that I started about 9 years or so ago, with a high focus on health and wellness and diabetes. We have an e-commerce platform. We have education, a lot of great free resources about health and diabetes. It was never my intention to be a diabetes expert. However, my son was diagnosed with type 1 at 18 months old. He, much to our surprise, no family history. He is now almost 18 years old. So I had just actually, at one point, I was planning to leave the corporate world. So we know each other. They don't know, but we know each other from the corporate world. And I was planning to leave the corporate world, but to focus on photography and something more artistic. And I sat down to
by the way, I did plan photography.
Yes, that's
Remember
right.
when I brought you all into the studio?
Yes. Oh my goodness, I totally forgot about that.
Yes.
Ooh, we could find some
Rima was a photographer.
And very good one. Ooh. those are like some.
It's amazing how we explore. I think that, you know, we're trying to escape that corporate world.
Yeah,
and find ourselves.
I think so.
And then on the way, you're trying these little things.
Yes.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because you just have to be, as a founder, as a business person, you have to be a photographer. There's no way you don't have to be a photographer.
No, you need to understand a little bit nowadays with everything. Yeah, it's amazing. And I'm so glad that I do understand that. I still do it for fun, but yeah, it's very different. But when I sat down to write my photography blog, I started just writing about my experience as a parent of a child with type 1, because my son was born in Dubai. I've lived here 20 years, and there were no pediatric endocrinologists to our knowledge back then. So I just dumped all this stuff out. It was quite therapeutic, but at the same time, I didn't want another mom to go through what I did. And slowly, the business that I have now, it just evolved from all of that, which I'm really blessed to do the work I do. I'm very passionate about it, and
so cool.
hopefully it's helping.
Is it?
Some people. I mean, the feedback I get is really great. It always makes me so happy.
No, actually, that takes us right into the next question, or the next thing I'd like you to tell people is, like, how do you actually help people? So you do a lot of life coaching, longevity, wellness, and then you have this DiaPoint. So how does your day look like? What do you do on a daily basis?
On a daily basis.
And how do you help them? Like, how do you help them?
Yeah, so a lot of, there's, in health, there are so many, I don't want to call them problems, but there are so many areas to look and so many problems to solve. The last few years, I actually scaled back a bit to focus on, to get really fine-tuned on a few more things than trying to do everything. But my day would look like, we talk about more of a week, I guess.
Yeah.
Because some days are dedicated to other things, you know, like just a day. Day is like,
today is HR.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
Mondays would usually start with my team, or a small mighty team, and then we focus on DiaPoint, the products in the shop, what we're doing, because that mission is to make diabetes more beautiful. Diabetes, as far as I'm aware, still is the only condition where people are blaming the person with diabetes. They're making stupid jokes. It's highly misunderstood. And I just I didn't want my son to live in that kind of world, and I didn't want that for people with diabetes. And I want it to be just as accessible and as stylish as wearing a pair of glasses. So we focus on the shop, the products, more of the operations of it, but also the strategy, the planning. We create a lot of content, what we're trying to educate people on. Like I said, a lot of that is free. And we want it to be, of course, factual, make sure that's out there. Then the rest of the week will be meetings and different things. I have a few coaching clients. I don't take on too many now because I focus on other areas of the business. There's a lot happening also in the corporate health and wellness space. So it just depends. But those are the key focuses of the business things that I do. And then we have a podcast, which I scaled back on a bit, but like last night late, I was just recording an episode with a Emirati race car driver. Ooh. He's young. Yeah, he's a go-kart racer. Yeah, super cool. So cool. Yeah, I love speaking to people that they have diabetes, and so many of them have been told, you can't do this. And they're like, what are you talking about? I can. Yeah, you can do anything with diabetes. You just need to manage it. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It's tough. I mean, at the beginning, I do remember. So just to the background of the corporate world, when I met you, you were a healthcare consultant,
yes,
right?
I was.
And you've done that for...
Ever.
Yeah. So health always. And wellness.
Yes, I started my career as a healthcare manager, healthcare consultant, and you know, the irony of everyone always telling you you're a healthcare expert. My background was strategy, quality, and all these things, and then I have a child with a chronic condition where in the beginning I couldn't find anyone that knew anything about it, and I didn't know anything about it. So I'm like, oh, maybe we're not really experts.
Yeah.
And not that I ever bought into the idea of you know, but to some level you do, because you're told you are, and that's your job, to be a healthcare expert, but you're really not until you actually live it.
Yeah.
But that actually served what I do, because I'm able to see both sides of it. I can understand what should be happening in the clinical setting and what should be happening when you're back at home living your daily life. So
like you said, it's so ironic, the timing of things. And now you took me back. I don't think a lot of people know this. I got my trade license in June 2020 for the Pilates studio. June 10th, actually. So June 12th, my daughter, Lara, the elder one, she falls. She was at the ice rink. She falls. She's like, I'm in pain. We take her to the doctor, MRI, blah, blah, blah. And I find out she has scoliosis.
Oh.
She was 13 back then, I believe. No, yeah, 12, 13. And the irony of it is, like, a lot of what we do today with most of the teenagers, because before 6 we're still kind of trying to help, and before 16 we're trying to help and stuff, with their growing spines, all of that. And I'm like, And then when I started, getting to know scoliosis a little bit more, and and that's one of the reasons eventually I wanted to become also an instructor.
Wow, I did
because at the
not know
beginning, for me, the studio was like, okay, I want a sidekick that helps people, a platform that brings something I've personally, had so much experience in my body with, helped me with my posture, helped me with my post losing the weight bit, all of that. But then it started becoming more and more personal by default. Like, something would pop up, and then my husband 2 years later, he has this 2 centimeters in his hips, non-alignment. I'm like, okay, that's it, I gotta understand this thing called human body.
Wow.
And
what an amazing story.
It's just, and the timing of it all, you're thinking about leaving corporate for years.
Yeah.
And then this one thing happens.
If you never believed in divine intervention, I do. There really is
a lot
something to it, because had my son not have this condition, I would not be doing this. I would not be helping people in the way that I'm able to. And even going back further, the way that I knew my son could have type 1 was because I had a dog when I was like a late teen that they suspected was diabetic, and they kept testing the dog for diabetes. And very common with type 1 diagnosis that often the general pediatrics, they miss it.
They don't.
And the doctor didn't believe it was possible, but I thought it could be possible only because I was aware of those symptoms. I'm like, could it be? Can you just double check? And he's like, well, if it'll give you peace of mind.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Never had peace of mind.
I'm the mom here, I'm right.
Yeah. Someone once told me, like, leave it up to a mom and stuff will get done and things will improve, like, really. And a mom that's passionate about what she's doing. And it's
the mom intuition is a big thing. And if you guys don't believe in that, well, we know everything.
Yeah,
we choose to ignore something.
Yeah, we do. We do often.
We ignore a lot of things. Actually.
Yeah. I get asked a lot at home, like, how do you know that? I'm like, I can see the future. I just know. Moms know things.
Yeah, the mom thing is. Yeah, and I now when I reflect, I'm like, oh my God, my mom probably knew.
Yeah.
Like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
She knew. There's no way she didn't
we know more than we think we do. And like you said, we often ignore it, and the body knows, and that the body keeps the score. Like it holds all the stress, the trauma, and if your body is acting up, it could be something genetic, an illness, or hopefully it's nothing big like that, but sometimes those little pains and tweaks, your body is trying to tell you something.
How do you stay healthy? What do you do?
What do? I am not as rigid as I used to be, let's say in like my 20s and 30s. I was always active, always in the gym, or always
running. You used to run at some point.
Yes, I still run a bit. I'm retired, but for my 50th birthday a few years ago, I did go back and train and run the Rack Half Marathon.
Wow.
Which was, quite a very different experience doing a long distance run than when you're in your 20s.
Oh.
But yes, I still run a bit. And in my 30s, I did a lot of yoga. When I lived in Istanbul, I was doing yoga almost every day, and I loved it. I still love it. I still do it at least once a week.
Yay.
I just try to stay active. I tap dance. I've always loved to dance. Like we were talking about ballet this morning with your workshop. I'm like, I think as we age, that kind of movement is so important. So it's not about being rigid. It's about finding movement that brings me joy.
Yeah.
And sometimes just what I have time for, and being kind of pre-menopausal or menopausal.
Yeah.
Weightlifting, super important. So I'm doing a lot of strength training 3 times a week.
Well done.
And eating well most of the time. It's never perfect. Everything in moderation, mostly plants.
Okay.
Drink a lot of water. I like wine, but I've found as I've gotten older, the way my body metabolizes it is not as good as it used to be. So I don't drink as much of it. And my thing with wine is I like the history, the story, understanding where it's from, the geography, how all of that happened. And it's not like to achieve like inebriation or something. I'm not one of those kind of wine drinkers, but it's just more, there's a lot of beautiful places in the world that make wine, but so avoiding risky substances. I never smoked. If you smoke, I would say just don't.
Stop. Yeah.
It's really not good. Just, spending time doing things that I like. I'm really fortunate that I have a job I'm passionate about. That makes me very happy. Probably my worst health habit, and one of the most important ones, is sleep.
Okay.
I think this is the
I
one.
was gonna pull out the coffee mug.
I love my coffee, and that's not because I don't sleep. I just really love a good cup of coffee.
Exactly.
I really do. I enjoy it. When I was in corporate, I'd say like, okay, 2 cups, and still more or less is the same, but I would be so sad when that part of my day was finished. I'm like, oh my God, I'm at my coffee quota. Because if I have too much in the afternoon, really it does affect my sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm still not sleeping. And when my son was diagnosed, I didn't sleep for years, like years. And there's so much science around sleep and what that does for you, how it rejuvenates you. You have a higher risk of type 2 diabetes if you're not sleeping, or at least insulin resistance.
Yeah. It seems the most, I mean, I don't know the stats. Maybe you would, not sure, but
there's so many statistics. I don't really rattle them off.
Yeah, but there's people are finding it very hard to sleep nowadays. Mm-hmm. And it's all the way we live.
Yeah, we're distracted, and also our friend, the phone.
Yeah, the overstimulation and all of that. I was at a comedy show last night. My husband dragged me into it, and he made me laugh so much. And he uses a lot of swear words and stuff. And then he's like, how can I say it without the F words? Beep.
I'll beep you.
I'm sorry. So the way he put it together, we are so up as a society. We need a life coach, and I'm sorry, life coach to tell us how to live.
That's okay. I'm not a life coach, but yeah.
But
Yeah.
And we need pills to sleep. Mm-hmm. And just imagine you in front of your not grandparent, but the generation above, just trying to tell them that.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I totally agree. I mean, there are people that, it's not the goal to coach everyone, but if someone comes to me and all they need to do is adjust one thing, I'm not going to coach them for the sake of coaching or just to take their money or, and sometimes people do need goal setting and positive motivation to keep going. I think it has its place, but also coaching is still a relatively new profession.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of people out there that haven't gone through any certifications and are calling themselves a coach, which is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Or they're not referring people to doctors or mental health professionals when they need them. So yeah, society is pretty messed up in a lot of ways, I would say, and we just need to get back to basics at every single level, and that will help a lot of things.
I stopped because I have a list of questions.
Oh my gosh, a list.
A list of questions.
Is this like a speed round?
Yeah, that's one of those.
Oh,
like,
okay,
yeah.
Boom.
Boom.
You want one word?
Yeah.
Really?
I think
Can
so.
I? Anyway, let's see.
So, no, actually you gotta rate, sorry. So you gotta rate 1 to 10.
Okay, can I give an explanation for my rating?
Yeah.
Okay.
So ask Pamela, that's what the team wrote.
Okay.
Ask Pamela to rate each 1 to 10 on intermittent fasting.
1 to 10 about intermittent fasting? It depends. So
in general,
where
are you? Do you do that? Do you
I personally don't, and I mean there are times when I'm like, I've eaten enough today. I'm full. I don't need to eat dinner. There is a lot of medical evidence for some medical intermittent fasting and a lot of ways that it can help with insulin resistance and a lot of other things. Those studies are very valid, and there's a lot of great doctors, practitioners out there with years of evidence around this. But having said that, for a lot of people and those sound bites that you get off of TikTok about intermittent fasting, you got to be careful because it's just another way of calorie restriction. Yeah. If you're eating healthy and well and moving and doing all the lifestyle things, you may not need to do intermittent fasting. And if you have diabetes, you need to be so careful. In the case of type 1, for example, you can end up having a lot of low blood sugar. So if you have diabetes or any kind of health condition and you're thinking to fast, or you've read somewhere that fasting is good for you, please ask your doctor. That was a long answer without a number.
Yeah, no.
It could be a 1, it could be a 10.
It depends.
It depends on the person and their body. Yeah.
Fair. Rate 1 to 10 the concept of 10,000 steps a day. 10 being I'm so into it. I count that.
I don't regular watch here. I used to count it 10 because in the modern world we are not moving enough and we need to. It's very clear, and even myself, the times that I did measure it, when I'm moving, I have much better results. I'm not carrying excess weight, and if I'm sitting in my chair hashing it out at my laptop all day, which sometimes I love to do,
we do, yeah.
It's not good. So 10, yes, in the modern world, but if you're just out moving around regularly and doing things, and you hear about the blue zones and why people. One of the reasons people there live a long time is because they're just moving around, nothing fancy. They're not counting steps. They might be gardening, they might be,
moving, just regular human movement. Yeah. Okay. We'll kind of ignore you and I on this one. Like we won't get personal on it.
Okay.
We'll relate it directly to diabetes.
Okay.
Rate 1 to 10. Black coffee before breakfast.
Okay, ignore us. Do as I say, not
We're
as
not
I
the
do.
role models here.
No, but
we're walking the dog, people.
Yeah, I don't think. In the context.
I don't have black coffee, just FYI.
I have black coffee too.
I don't. Yeah,
mine's black. In the context of diabetes, I've honestly not really thought about it much. I know for some people it can increase their blood sugar, but it may not be a drastic increase. And if you're taking insulin, you'll know what that increase is and what you need to do. And I love coffee. There's a lot of research that suggests that coffee is actually good for brain health. I know it's good for my brain health. And a lot of and my mental health and everyone around me. Yes, that meme about coffee is so true. So in the context of diabetes, again, it depends on you I mean, your microbiome, your body, how it digests coffee, if you're having it with food or without food, some people will get a spike. And from time to time now, my son, when he's, up late doing homework in the morning, he's like, coffee.
Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he doesn't drink, and I milk it down a lot for him. I don't give him a lot of coffee. Sometimes it's just the smell that can
wake him
you
up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It does it for me. I have to smell it before I start drinking it.
I love it. And it takes me back to like my childhood. My grandparents were coffee
those
drinkers.
Habits, it's those little things in life we gotta enjoy. And if it's coffee, well.
Yeah, no, I do love
that's
it.
Not a very, very
and
big
like
problem.
a really nice morning at home, if I'm not coming out for a meeting or something,
I'll take my time.
I'll get my coffee, I'll sit down, and one of my cats knows, and she'll sit on me. My dog's happy, all is good in the world, and I'm having my coffee.
That's so nice. Blue light blocking glasses.
10.
They work. Like you like
the
them?
proper ones.
The proper ones.
Yeah, it's not something that we can see, but for our eyes to get better sleep, because if we're just sitting there looking at blue light or working late at night, I think.
Okay.
I don't think there's any harm in it.
Counting macros.
Ooh. So yes, but, or yes and. 10
1 to 10.
10 and.
Okay.
We need a certain amount of carbohydrates, fat, and protein.
Balanced diet, people.
Yes, we need a balanced diet, but those macros, the ingredients that's going into what you're eating needs to be healthy. If your macros are from
butter,
processed food, then it's
cold
not
plunges.
Good. Never done it.
No.
Never done it.
Oh my God, let's go together.
Okay.
I've been postponing it for a month, but my body hurts.
I've seen you do it on social media, and I'm like, Rima's crazy. Because
well,
I don't like being cold. And
me too. I hate it.
So, and also, but here's the thing. Several years ago, I developed a condition called cold urticaria.
Oh.
Which is when you have an allergic reaction if you get cold.
I'm not taking you.
And
that's just
no pressure.
No, I'm not taking the risk. You'll sign.
No. So I don't like cold, and even if I had never experienced that, I wouldn't have tried it. It came out one summer. So as you know, I go to Turkey every summer, and I was swimming in the beautiful Aegean Sea, which is cool. And I just was having kind of a stressful morning, being the mom of a type 1, and was up all night, and I'm like, just let it go. I came out of the water covered in hives, freezing, shivering, cold. And I thought I just swam into some strange plankton or something. Yeah. It kept happening. And I did a lot of search and talked to a lot of doctors. And the first one I saw, she's like, it's cold urticaria. I didn't believe her. I'm like, how can it be? And I'm like, I love to swim in the sea. Why is this happening? But in the end, after a lot of steps, it was cold urticaria, and it would happen and keep happening. And then finally it did go away. I managed it the following summer because I wasn't swimming in super cold water, but I would notice like if I even touched something cold with my leg, that part of my leg would break out.
Wow.
So I would take an antihistamine before, and then now the last few summers it's gone. But I think it's because I am much more well rested. I am not as
so maybe
stressed.
That summer
that triggered it. But
it's amazing what our bodies do.
It is. That's why they listen to your body and react. So cold plunges, never done it. I would be one of those people that probably needs to maybe consult with a doctor before I try it. Yeah. Take an antihistamine to be safe. But yeah, I can't rate it.
Glucose monitors for non-diabetic people. 1 to 10.
Depends. I'm gonna say 5, or I'll say like a 10 for a week or two, and a 5 or a 1 the rest of the time. And I did a couple of podcast episodes about this and had a lot of people on when the trend started. And kind of the consensus among doctors is it can be good if you've never worn one, just to follow your blood sugar and see if you might be pre-diabetic or you might have some kind of insulin resistance or something else going on.
But you would have like symptoms that make you want to do that, right?
Not
you're
always.
not doing it for the fun of it. No,
No, not always. Like if you have slightly elevated blood sugar and you're
Okay.
just insulin resistant or what they call pre-diabetic, you're not going to have the unquenchable thirst and all of these and urinating all the time necessarily, unless it's been over a very long period of time or you have really high blood sugar. So it's a good way to kind of get a baseline and see what's going on. But there are a lot of people that wear them and they're gathering all this data and they don't really understand what it means. And they'll be like, oh, I can't eat that because I need to have a flat line. But what you need to see happening is your pancreas should work. So when you eat, you might see some increase, but it should go back down.
Yeah.
It'd be an issue if it didn't come back down.
So apparently, how many hours? And I've never worn any of these trackers. I don't know how they work, to be honest. And so it's really a formula where how long it takes for that to kind of go down, etc. So you need to understand how it actually works.
Yeah, how it works or just what the data is. Like I had a client once and her doctor had said she was pre-diabetic and she was really concerned because she had a family history of diabetes. And I said, okay, you still follow up with your doctor, but let's put on a CGM and see what that says. And it was very clear when she ate certain foods in the evening, her blood sugar was high all night. And that happens to a lot of people because of insulin resistance, you can't digest it well when you're sleeping and different things like that. So you will learn things about food and what you eat, but you just need to know how to interpret the data. So they are good, but if you're not diabetic, or you don't have other like PCOS or other critical reasons that you need to wear.
You just went into our next one. Oh, our exit. So, let me tell you.
I don't know much about PCOS, but
no, not that only. Did I ever tell you that I was pre-diabetic? Type 2.
Not sure.
No. Okay. So type 2 is what is actually at 28. I was 28.
Which I don't want to say, like, not because it's you, but I am not surprised. There are people think diabetes is an older person's disease.
That's one of those
or condition. I shouldn't say disease, condition. It's not. It can happen at any age.
So I was overweight and bad lifestyle. And I just had my baby 3 years before it, and never lost the weight. Actually, it was just going up.
Can I ask you, did you have gestational diabetes by chance?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You had that. Okay.
And Lara, I was on insulin.
Because sometimes also it will stay after.
Yeah. They did tell me that it was gone a year later, but then it came back because of lifestyle, probably, not anything else. And PCOS ever since I was like younger. So there's a lot of reasons why my insulin till today acts up.
Yep.
But today I know as soon as something happens, I know, and I know how to work with it.
That's because you're in touch with your body. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know where that cyst usually is before even going to the ultrasound. Wow. Like it's, people are like, are you in touch with your, that's exactly what this means. I know because this month, and again, we're human, we're ups and downs, we get busy, we get back, we get frustrated, we get stressed, we get healthier, and we're constantly working on this, right? It's not like I'm super good all the time. It's never like that. And if you're trying to achieve that, good luck. Like I always talk about this. So this whole pre-diabetic experience, like I'm 28, do I really want to live like this? And that's when I started, journey, personal trainer, 6 a.m., blah, blah. Speaking of Turkey. So I started January 2014. New year, new me. The whole thing going on. And personal trainer, diets, meal plans, whatever. And I lost between January and August around 13 kg, and I needed to lose like 50. And then I went to Turkey for 10 days. I ate the whole of Turkey.
Wow.
Well.
As you do.
And I came back.
There's a lot of amazing food in Turkey.
And then I came back, and I was back 8 kg in 10 days. I'm like, that's it, I need help. You know, I mean, it was August. I started exploring, and then January 2015 was when I had my gastric sleeve.
Wow.
To kind of get the help I needed, and there's nothing wrong with help.
No,
you know,
nothing wrong at all. And also good that you noticed, because that, even, you know, we travel, we eat, we gain weight, but to experience that, I mean, clearly your metabolism is telling you something.
There's something absolutely wrong. It takes you 8 months to lose, I think, 12, 13 kgs, and you gain 8 back. I swear to you, on the way back, like my pants were like so tight, like it was insane. So I'm like, yeah. So that's where I started exploring with my own health, etc., etc. So back to that, I've struggled with PCOS all my life. Whatever you know about that triggering diabetes 2 specifically, right? And what are some of the things that we can tell women are absolutely essential to come over? Because this is not something that really goes. I mean, PCOS, it doesn't just go. Right. It's something that you need to know how to manage and have some. So what are some of the tips to manage that? Like, to
manage like PCOS or just health
PCOS
in general?
And the relationship with insulin.
Regular checkups with your doctor is the most important thing that you can do. And even if you don't have any kind of chronic condition, going for regular checkups for women particularly is so important. So we have a baseline of our hormones. Yeah. And I never understood how important that was until people just recently started talking about menopause. It's one thing if you think, oh, okay, I don't have my period and now I'm going to go to the doctor and get checked. But if you have a baseline of what your hormones were 10, 15, even 20 years before, you'll be able to see the decline. And then there's new evidence, you know, out recently that HRT is good. So when do you start it? And if you're following your hormones and then that change, you'll be able to understand. So whatever chronic condition it is, I use menopause as an example, but whatever chronic condition you have, like diabetes, PCOS, you need to make sure you're getting regular checkups, doing your regular blood work. And again, all of these lifestyle things that I talked about earlier, eating well, sleeping, movement, those will all contribute to your health condition. The better you eat, like you may have type 1 diabetes in the case of my son, there is no cure. Yeah. If he's eating well, and by well I mean balanced, nutrient-dense food, a lot more vegetables, not just protein, which he's a boy, he likes protein and those things, which is ironic because I don't even like red meat. Like I never really enjoyed it. But if he's eating well balanced, his blood sugars are amazing, and it's much easier to manage. If you're eating a lot of processed food, a lot of junk food, and not taking care of yourself, not exercising, not moving, then you will see flare-ups in your conditions, and you'll experience the imbalance, and you probably won't feel very well.
Thank you very much. I think lifestyle for me personally, and I'm not a doctor or you know, a healthcare specialist, but I'm somebody who's at this moment really good with my body. Like,
but you are the specialist of you. And everyone should be. And it's not that we know better than doctors. They're out there understanding the research, but we do. We
just listen. And as soon as I'm like, for a couple of weeks, so it's not instant, for a couple of weeks, I'm like, I'll eat my bag of chips every day, or, you know.
I love a good bag of chips, sadly.
Yeah.
I like crunchy stuff.
The crunchy stuff, the salty stuff. Yeah. And that's one of those. Right? So a couple of weeks, I'm letting some in, versus, you know, making my own. Like I go from, you know, making my own zucchini chips to give me any bag of chips. Yeah. Like that's the spectrum.
It happens. Yeah.
And as soon as I'm down that route for a couple of weeks, I'm like, oh, I'll be on the reformer, or I'll be at the gym, and I'll be like, oh, it's right here.
Yep.
And I'll be like, okay, Rima, get your zucchini chips in, and I'll kind of, you know, get into my routine.
Good. That's really good.
And that's when, you know, I'll be like, it's gone. I know it's gone right
Amazing.
now, right? So they pop up and they pop in and out, like or they grow and like I don't know what happens, but I know it. Like before the ultrasound, I know what's going on and I know where it is. So it's not something. It's just lifestyle.
Yeah.
When I'm doing less workouts, I know. When I'm anywhere under 3 times a week, I know it's coming back, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people ask us, oh, how many times do I need to work out? As much as possible.
Yeah. That's what I always say, because then if something comes up, then at least you've made it at least 3 to 5 days a week and doing things that
recover,
you enjoy.
Rest, right? But move as much as possible. It won't kill you, I promise. Like, it won't.
Yeah, I'm really blown away by when I go to like a class and I see people there that are younger than me and they're struggling and they look like they're hating it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, one, okay, good on you for getting healthy. But I'm like, if you're hating this,
now,
why are you doing it?
One, do something you love.
Do something that you love that's going to get you there. There's more than one way to get there. There's all kinds of ways
Dubai,
to move.
You live in Dubai.
Oh my gosh, we have so many wonderful options.
The amount of options you
it's
have.
endless. We have too many options. Actually, I find myself, I want to go to the gym. I want to do Pilates, but I want to dance and I want to do yoga and I want to go back. I think ballet would be great because I feel it like in my hip flexors and everything. But if I did more yoga, that would probably be okay too. And if there's too many wonderful choices here.
Exactly. And try, like people are sometimes so fixated. No, Pilates is like not for me. Have you tried? Not really. How do you know it's not for you?
Yeah.
Like how? How do you miraculously? Because I don't really know what's good for me until I try it.
That's true.
So, and again, we're so privileged. We're so lucky to be living in this city. I think sometimes with the stress and the amount of work that we do, we kind of like, I hate the traffic.
Lately, that's all everyone's talking about. But it is crazy, I must say.
It is crazy. However, there's options that are closer to you everywhere. I mean, you look around and there's something close to you.
No, there's always something you can do. Even earlier this week, so Wednesday morning is usually my yoga day, but I didn't have any meetings or whatever I had after was happening later or canceled or something. And I thought, instead of going to yoga, now the weather's getting better, I'm going to take my dog for a really long walk.
That's it.
And that I'm moving, I'm out in green nature, reflecting. That's my yoga for the day. Yeah. It doesn't always have to be
in a class form or in a gym form. Just move. Just get off of the couch, for God's sake.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just
move. Just move. So I forgot what's the next topic.
Oh no, the look. She's like,
No, just because I'm very proud of myself for remembering what I had to.
It's okay.
The myths around diabetes.
Oh, there's so many.
Yeah?
There's so many.
I'm so bad at this, like I wouldn't know.
No, I mean, it's...
So first of all, I know we think that it comes later in life. So that's one. Definitely one.
We think... So society thinks that type 2, it usually happens later in life, and that type 1, which was often called juvenile diabetes, only happens in childhood. Over 50% of all new diagnoses of type 1 are happening in adulthood, not to children. Okay. So it's often overlooked in adults, and they're...
Male and females equally?
Yeah,
there's no gender,
there's no
dominance.
Gender bias. I think it's around 50, it's almost 50-50.
Okay.
I don't think that it's more girls than boys. Maybe in certain countries it may be, but from what I remember, it's pretty close. And with type 2 as well. What will happen for adults that have type 1, they will often get misdiagnosed as people with type 2. Then they don't get the right treatment. They'll get on insulin, but maybe not the right kind of insulin, and they'll be told all this stuff. And some people will go for like 2 years before they get the proper diagnosis.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And
why?
Because general practitioners are not really trained in the nuances of diabetes as an endocrinologist would be.
Okay.
And there's also a few other types of...
But they don't get referred?
Not always, depending on where you live,
or just
okay. It depends.
The healthcare system just mind blows me sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
it depends on where you live. And yeah, then suddenly one day someone that's been thinking they're type 2 for 2 years sees the symptoms and they go, oh, this is me. Could I have? And it may not be type 1. There's some other genetic types, like something called MODY, where one of your genes isn't quite working properly and it presents itself as type 1, but you need to take certain tests to make sure of exactly what type of diabetes it is. So there's a lot of misconceptions about that. So myths. And I feel like every November we kind of do like a big list, but that some people actually think it could be contagious.
No.
Yeah. That,
so I touch you and you have diabetes.
That could be.
Why would they think so? Oh my God.
Just, lack of education in some places.
Oh, wow.
And there are some remote places where people think it could be contagious, or that, the person is lesser than because they have diabetes, like we discussed a bit earlier. Like you can't do things with diabetes, or because you're diabetes. There's a lot of the biggest misconception, and kind of the thing that drives me crazy, is the shame and blame around diabetes.
Okay.
Particularly with type 2. And a lot of people don't understand the difference between type 1 and type 2, and that's okay. But they think the person did it to themselves. Well, if you would just not be lazy, if you would just eat, if you, eat properly, or if you would have just done this, it's your fault. Nobody shames and blames anyone for having cancer or facing challenges with mental health or any of those other awareness things, that we always talk about. And it's nobody's fault. Someone that has diabetes, it can be part of a larger way that their body is working, their metabolism. It could be genetic. And if we look in general at just access to food, a lot of people live in food deserts. They don't have access to healthy food all the time. Yeah. So perhaps that added to it. There's so many reasons why people get diabetes.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of myths around taking insulin, that it's not healthy, it's not good for you. If your doctor tells you that you need to take insulin, there is no shame in taking insulin. If you're type 1, you must take it or you will die. Yeah. You have to have insulin.
You have to have it.
If you have type 2 diabetes and you've been prescribed insulin, there is no shame in taking it. And then the reversal discussion, maybe you will get off insulin and, decrease your need, but maybe you won't, because it just depends on how your body works.
Is reacting and all of that.
Yeah.
So
there's
I was brought up in an Arab home. My mom is Arab, and the way we were raised was like tough love. Anyways, that's
I like
so I would hear my mom saying, guys, like in Arabic, she'd be like, don't give me diabetes. So growing up, I never knew how I gave her diabetes.
Was she saying it like from like the stress of it?
Yes.
Wow. So is that common in?
I don't know if in other homes, but in my home, my mom would be like, you guys are making me sad today, so don't give me diabetes. If you make me sad, I'll have diabetes.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the way we were raised was very interesting.
No, that's so interesting, because I mean, and a lot of stress can cause insulin resistance. Someone came to me, a good friend, a CEO of a company, and he's like, I went to the doctor and did this executive checkup, and the guy is healthy. His wife cooks amazing organic plant-based foods, all the things. They said I'm pre-diabetic. And I said, well, you probably have a really stressful job life, and that will trigger it. So maybe, but that's just so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a common thing. Okay. It's a common thing. I mean, so we always relate. I mean, I don't know if it's common outside my family, but I always heard it like, oh, he got diabetes because of this one incident in their life. So we go into each other's lives, and we know everything that's going on in everybody's life and all of that. So for example, somebody lost someone dear to them, or had a traumatic type of incident. Diabetes was always again, in my society, like in my family, associated with like a traumatic incident.
Well,
And a huge amount of stress.
it is interesting that I have met a lot of people with type 1 or people that have spouses and others with type 1 who they feel it was set off by a traumatic event.
It was triggered.
It was triggered, yes.
Yeah.
Like I met one woman, she's like, yeah, my husband was in a bank when it was being robbed, and then after that the doctor thinks that triggered his type 1.
Wow.
Yeah, so could be, but in the case of type 2, because usually that comes more gradually,
Okay.
I've not heard or looked, to be honest, looked for any research that supports that. But
type
that's
1.
just super interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom, she still uses this uses it out as like, I'm older now. I'll get it more quickly.
Oh no, the stress of it. Well,
Mom,
she's
keep
not
doing that,
completely
we're
wrong.
gonna get it.
So focus on your lifestyle more, Mom. Don't focus on the stress that the kids are causing you.
giving
We're so sorry, but yeah, you can overcome us.
Just leave us alone. I think.
No, not by leaving you alone. Just yeah.
No, but it's interesting. So, I mean, the more I found out about, like, I read about diabetes and stuff, I'm like, oh, my mom was right again. You
she
know,
knew.
like,
She
oh my god. But like, and I love cultures, and I love how my grandmother used to eat, and I love all these little things that if we listen carefully and if we observe carefully, the elder generations, they knew certain things without all the stats.
Yes.
And they knew by being very aware, very present, very connected to their bodies on earth. Like there was a lot. My late grandma, dad's side, she passed away 4 years ago. She was pretty much a vegetarian. And she always preached about, like, you guys eat meat so much. Like, what's wrong with you people and generations, and you're eating this basically crap going around, and this fried chicken that you guys ordered. Like she would like be like, what is this?
Yeah.
It's not natural, it's not from the ground, it's not.
Yeah.
And not that she called them organic or plant-based, but that's how she ate.
Yeah, that's
Right?
how I was brought up. Like, we were not, it was like, organic wasn't a thing. But it was like, no, we're not putting pesticides in our garden. We're going to eat this.
Yeah.
And here's some wheat germ to have on your cereal. And no, we're not buying you sugary cereals.
Yeah.
Because they're just sugar.
Bad.
And that is another myth, that sugar causes diabetes, but not, again, it's about your body. So some people think like, oh, even they would say to me, you had too much sugar, that's why your son has diabetes. You ate too much sugar when you were pregnant.
Oh my God. So
A personal trainer actually said that to me. Needless to say, I never went back to him again because I was like, what a jerk. Yeah. So yeah, there's loads of misconceptions. But
the power of words.
The power of words. But yeah, just eating well. And yeah, our grandparents and sometimes parents did like know a lot of things. And you know, I don't want to criticize an industry, but big food, making food more cheaper and addictive, is not helping anyone.
No. Last two topics. One, if very briefly, what's the difference? And I know we can all Google it, but I want to hear it from you. What's the difference between type 1 and type 2?
Okay. So
according to Pam.
One, you get more sleep, maybe. One less. So type 1 diabetes is, in basic terms, when the immune system is attacking certain cells in your pancreas that make insulin. It destroys those cells and they no longer work. And you have to replace the insulin. That is the only way. There is no cure. There's a lot of exciting research happening right now. Some of the research where they've quote unquote cured people, they've had to give them immune suppressants so that the immune system doesn't attack the pancreas, but that's not a cure because then that also pulls up a whole host of other complications from those drugs. So that's not really a true cure. And my son manages with an insulin pump. It helps, and he has a CGM that speaks to that pump. Some people manage with injections. It comes down to kind of what your doctor suggests and personal preference.
Okay.
With type 1, you don't have a lot of choices because you need to take insulin somehow, but you can manage it with, you know, an insulin pump if that's accessible to you, or with injections, either way. Type 2 diabetes, the pancreas typically will make some insulin, but it's not enough.
Okay.
So insulin resistance is just when the pancreas is starting to not make enough, and then after you get past a certain blood sugar level, then that's when they clinically say you have type 2 diabetes, and you may need to take some kind of long-lasting insulin. Some people do injections over time.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the pancreas is not able to function to its full capacity that it used to. Could be that. It could be because you're older. Like we said, it's not an age-related thing specifically. Your pancreas could just be tired. It could be genetic. Like I knew a guy, he was running marathons, and his father had diabetes, and he's like, hoping I'm not going to get it, but I got it. And I knew the signs and went to the doctor, and sure enough, and he was super fit. So it's not because you're overweight or what you ate or anything like that. So those are the two primary differences. Yeah.
I thought of one more, so it's not the last one.
That's okay.
There's one more.
I can do this all day. I can talk. We can talk about anything.
And I think the moms that are watching and will hear this, you had to raise a child that had a condition, and one, socially, how did he handle it, and how did you help him
That's a good one.
keep it feeling normal?
Yeah,
Because I'm sure these kids are nasty.
Oh, that's a good one. Blessing and not that my son was so young when he was diagnosed that he does not know life without diabetes.
Without it.
He was 18 months old.
Okay.
So if your child's diagnosed, say 8 years old, 10 years old, they remember life without it, and that is super challenging in the beginning. I was definitely on a mission. Like I couldn't control diabetes, so started a company. I can control that, right? Let me normalize it that way.
Let me control the world.
Yeah. I made sure, because what I didn't want, and I didn't know because I had not met any other mom that had type 1. I kind of went into it not knowing specifically how, but I knew I did not want this to stop him from doing anything. I didn't want it to fundamentally change his life, and I wanted him to just have a normal childhood just like any other kid without diabetes or another condition. So I worked a lot in the background to work with the school, with the health office, to make sure he was able to go on all the trips and do all the things. And sometimes even if you do that, you still might face discrimination or other things. It's very painful for you and your child when that happens. It's very unfortunate. A lot of people are afraid of children with type 1 diabetes.
Afraid?
Yes, like afraid. There are schools that will still reject a child with diabetes.
Because what if something happened? There are schools that would
There are
reject.
schools. I know. If this issue is resolved before I leave this earth, I will die a very happy woman. This
is very sad.
It is very sad.
Sorry, I didn't know that.
It does happen. Every year there's always a few parents, they take their child, they go see a school, they like the school, and they'll even accept, in some cases they will accept the child, and then when they realize
the form that you fill about conditions.
It's not the form, it's usually when they reject later. Sometimes it's an immediate no. But once they understand the diligence required or the interaction that the school health officer or nurse needs to have with a child with type 1, especially a small one, because they do have to get their blood sugar checked before they eat, and they need help administering insulin and all the things, and the school will come back and say, I'm so sorry, we
don't
can't
have the...
Yeah, and sometimes they won't even be honest about it. They'll just say, oh, sorry, admin mistake, we're full. They don't even have the courage to say the why. That hurts me as if my own child is discriminated against. I still cannot believe, like, it's 2025, almost 2026. Children are left out from school trips. They're left, some schools will not take them. Some schools are very experienced and have the most amazing nurses.
Definitely come with a price tag.
Yes, that
is
too.
that affordable? Those
yeah,
schools,
it's not affordable.
No.
Some schools have asked parents to send a nurse separate just to be there for their child,
Wow.
which diabetes is just as much a psychosocial condition as it is a physical one. And actually, once you know the basics, the long term of managing it is much more psychosocial. So you're just harming that child psychologically by leaving them out, or you're making them different in so many ways because of the fear. And it goes back to education and awareness and all the things. So back to your original question, as a mom, find other moms that have been through this. They'll, share what they did, how they did it, and just, I know whatever the condition, you'll be doing your best, and you just have to constantly be diligent. Some days it will feel exhausting. Parenting is exhausting anyway. We, have to do all the things, but just do your best and do what you can to support your child to have a happy, healthy, normal life. Check in with the school.
That's it.
And yeah, I would take off. I would chaperone sometimes trips if there was no chaperones.
Okay.
And I would and they didn't need another chaperone, but I would go and I would just quietly sit in the background so that he wouldn't be excluded.
Yeah.
And I was very lucky that I was in a company I could do that. And not that the company liked it, but I was unapologetic about it.
Yeah.
I was just like, sorry, type 1, I'm doing this. I'll be back. I got my work done. I did all the things.
Yeah, deal with it.
But yeah,
Thank you.
it's really hard. Really, it's very challenging. There's no one perfect way to do it, but just a lot of planning, organization, and a lot of love.
A lot of love.
A lot of love.
Last one.
Yeah.
I promise.
That's okay. Yeah, you said that.
Hashtag Ozempic. Hashtag Monjaro. Hashtag
All of
that.
All of that.
So I don't want to put a question to it. Like,
No.
I don't want to be like, what do you think of...
Oh, you can.
I can.
You can put it, yeah. But, okay, so if you weren't going to put a question to it, how would you say it?
Exactly. So, okay, I won't put an opinion to it. I'll be like,
It's okay. Opinions are welcome.
some people know it. Sorry. Some people need it. Some people don't.
Yes.
People who need it obviously need it. People who don't, what do you think of that?
People who don't, yeah. It's tricky. Because, yes, the people that need it, again, no shame in...
It is, so just in case they edit this, is Monjaro and Ozempic, right?
Yeah.
So it is that.
Yeah, these are, commonly referred to as GLPs. It's a medication that severely suppresses appetite and helps people lose weight. For some people with type 1 diabetes, it helps them get better blood sugars again. I mean, it requires medical intervention. You must ask your doctor for this. There's a lot of doctors that will just write it and, be like, yeah, okay.
They're promoting it.
And which I do not like. There's a lot of research being done about it though, however, and a whole nother discussion that would be like another episode. But in the case of, for example, there are children that are clinically obese, and again, no one's fault. It's a genetic issue.
It's just like,
and these drugs are amazing in helping them, really.
okay.
So they all have their purpose. There's a lot of people that they've not been able to lose weight for years. They've tried all the things and they take them and it's amazing. And they used to have type 2 diabetes and now they don't need insulin, and wonderful things. But back to the question or comment about people that don't need it. when it comes to weight loss and body image, and especially for women,
a lot of men.
Yeah, a lot of men
are doing it.
As I say, that's not to say that men aren't doing it too, because I mean, the pressure that they see on social media, the six pack, all the things, it's always been there. So a lot of men are taking it too. And I really wish as a society we did not feel that pressure to do these things. And everybody wants what seems like a quick fix.
Yeah. Nobody wants to put the work in.
Yeah. And we are measured and valued on our physical appearance. Yeah. I mean, even I look at myself like the last few months, I'm like, ooh, a couple kilos overweight. It came out of nowhere. Could be hormonal, whatever. I'm like, I just want this to go away. It's stubborn. It's not going, because where I am in life, my hormones, I'm sitting working on a lot of things, all the things. Everybody would love a quick fix, because as a society, we are judged by our physical appearance, and we are the harshest judge of ourselves. So I wish that we were not in that kind of society, but we are. And I wish that it would be more difficult to access the weight loss drugs and any other drug, to be honest, that someone doesn't need and they're taking just for this vanity purpose, for lack of a better word. And we see a lot of famous
vanity.
Vanity. That's what they would call it in like a Hollywood kind of way, right? Vanity. I couldn't think of a better way, a better word. And it's not always vanity. I mean, I get it, but we all want to look good. We all want to feel good, but if you don't need to, and you just have a few extra pounds to lose, you will have a lot more joy and happiness in your life if you just maybe tweak some things in your lifestyle or move more. And these drugs are very serious. From what I understand and read from people that have taken them, they don't always make you feel great. You don't feel wonderful with them. I mean, so how fun is that to go around and look thin
and be dizzy?
Yeah, and not feel
lose interest in a lot of things, by the way.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, I always talk about food and the relationship with food, and I've had, for the lack of even knowledge about that, like I knew later in life that I had relationship issues with food, and I worked on them, and I got help there as well. But funny enough, that was after the gastric sleeve, because I felt empty.
Oh.
You'll be amazed how that changes your life. Like, okay, all I did was think about food and talk about food and eat. And all of a sudden, I can't eat.
Wow.
I can't prepare for breakfast because I'm not going to eat anything more than half an egg, right? And loving food, loving life, loving all these things that have been sent to us are little pleasures in life.
They are.
And when I lose the appetite for it, I'm like, I lose the appetite for a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so psychologically, I love to eat. Of course, there's a degree to where that is healthy, where that's not healthy, how much my happiness depends on that. Like, that's a whole different story. But how beautiful is sharing a meal with somebody? Then all of a sudden, you're sitting on a table, no appetite. Everybody's eating and you're not.
Yeah.
Forget everything else and what it's doing to your body psychologically, and I've seen the misery. I've had friends, I have clients, and they change. I've seen them with less energy, that's for sure. I mean, you're not eating and you're not, right? And in our trainings and in our practices, we gotta be careful because they're getting dizzy. Like, there's a lot of things that we change in our training. We focus a little bit more on building muscle. Like, there's a lot that we change in our plan. But then the one thing I've been watching is they're not happy. You think these shortcuts will make you on the top. Eventually it will. Eventually you look great. You know, there's some confidence that comes back, the vanity. You're looking in the mirror, oh my God, I look amazing. But the process is not easy.
No. And at what cost?
Yeah. And I'm like, is that really necessary? From miserable to more miserable.
Yeah, that's so true. And what you point out about food is one of the things I love about food. And I often say, So I'm American. I grew up in the U.S. I moved from the
you don't
U.S.
have, like, good food.
I know,
It's-
but there, food there.
I mean, it depends on the city.
No, well, but I moved to Turkey in 1997, and I always say that
difference.
the food is amazing, but I always say that is where I really learned to eat.
Yeah.
There it was about quality and not quantity,
Yeah.
and I would have never had this realization had I stayed in the U.S. because it wasn't until when I would go back to visit and I would just be like, oh wow.
Yeah.
And I remember once we were in this supermarket, I was with my dad, and there were these apples. I wanted to buy some apples. And I went for the most beautiful apples, and he was like, yeah, but there's all these apples here. It's like half the price and you get more. And I was like, isn't that ironic? In my head, I said this, quantity over quality. It was just, and they weren't great apples. They didn't look good. They probably didn't taste good. I just wanted a really good apple.
The ugly but tasty.
Yeah, I know.
The ugly but tasty section.
Yes, which I'm all
which
for
is
it.
always in discount.
Yeah. I love it. So I always say when I went to Turkey, I learned how to eat because it was about the quality of the food, the most amazing food. My apartment was on the street where one of the local bazaars were, so every Tuesday I would load up with more than I could carry back to my house and just cook and eat, and it was beautiful. But also that whole social thing around food is so important, and that's what brings families and friends together, and we celebrate with food.
Exactly.
We also mourn, we grieve with food. When someone passes, we come together, we eat food. Food is such a ritual that to not be able to enjoy it or not be a part of it, and that doesn't mean you have to eat everything that's there.
No.
You shouldn't, but it's an important part of life. So yeah.
And I went through it personally, so I probably, because you've gone through something similar, is where you start realizing it on people more.
Yeah.
You probably have this extra eye for it.
Oh,
and this
for
is
sure.
why I see
For
it
sure.
with my clients and everything. Because that first year I was on tables looking at food, and I'm like, not that I felt deprived, but I felt like, my God, the first year was very hard. After a gastric sleeve, people don't realize that it's a lot of work. Let's go get a gastric sleeve done.
Oh no, I've listened to a lot of doctors present their research about it. It's horrific. It is very challenging.
I still today, 2015 is when I did it. We're in 2025. I still have to go for IVs for iron.
Oh wow.
I still have to do it like twice a year. I mean, it's ups and downs. Last year I only had to do it once. This year we're only in October, and I did it twice.
Wow.
Like it's ups and downs depending on where you are in life and what's going on in other areas, but it's not like, it's nothing in life is, a quick fix. I had to build my body piece by piece after losing every single muscle in there.
Wow.
So,
and those clients then, are they looking for advice on what to do, or are they just like pushing through, or?
It's interesting. Everyone is different. What's very funny and sad at the same time, before they get their fix, they're so dedicated. They're sort of like, they come 3 times a week, 4 times a week. As soon as they lose the weight, I don't see them. Because again, for us, working out is because I want to lose weight.
Yeah, and that's the thing though, when you take those drugs,
you think I'm done.
No,
I'm healthy now.
And you really need to work on sustaining and building muscle mass, because you will also lose the muscle mass.
That's the first thing you'll lose.
That's the first thing you lose.
That's the first thing you'll lose. And that's the worst thing for longevity, right?
Worse, yes. And that's why it needs to be done under medical supervision, people that know what they're doing, people that can follow you, measure your muscle mass.
And we get so happy looking good from the outside, but realistically on the inside, there's so much work you need to do. And that is my problem with this.
Yeah.
My problem is not, I'm judging you because you did it. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'm judging you for never coming back.
Yeah, yeah, you see the whole thing. We only see like a small...
I see them before.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I see them during, they're losing appetite, they're dizzy, they're like, oh, out of energy. And I'm like, stick to it. Once they've lost the weight.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, I get that. I had a client that did that once, and it wasn't necessarily, I mean, 2 clients. One, there was some weight loss, and then they didn't want to finish out their sessions. And then there was another one that came to me. He had diabetes, and, you know, he would exercise. He was doing a lot of things right, it seemed, but he wasn't happy with his doctor. And he's, you know, I said, look, I said, I'm not here to give you medical advice. I will never do that. I said, but here's a list of doctors, and maybe, you know, this one's in your area. These are really good at diabetes. This clinic specializes in it. Look at them, research it, go check them out, maybe 1 or 2 if you want to, or whatever. 2 weeks later, he came back and he's like, you've changed my life. This doctor was amazing. My blood sugar is now in range. And it was just about finding the right doctor that was aware of the latest studies and information and medication and what to prescribe. And he's like, thank you very much. I don't need anything anymore. And which that was his primary problem. And I was so happy that I just said, hey, maybe just go speak to another doctor. And that was great. Because also the previous doctor he was going to wasn't an endocrinologist and didn't really specialize in diabetes. And again, if you're listening, I'm not out there telling your patients to change or do other things. But it's more just like exploring
Actually,
options.
I want to close on a little story that happened to my daughter and I last year. No names of hospitals, no names of doctors. I took Mila, she's now 7. I have a habit every summer. I do this whole checkup for the girls, and I'm like, teeth, eyes, whatever, right?
Yep.
Like the whole checkup. We have time during the summer, so we do that. So Mila is a tiny, tiny bit overweight, and she loves to eat. She's a very active girl. She does everything right, but she loves to eat. Just like any child, there's so much crap around her as well, at school, at birthdays, whatever.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm someone who grew up with obesity, dealt with it all my life. So I'll never kind of be like, oh, we gotta die. Like, I'm never gonna do this to a child.
Yeah.
We go to
I lived with a lot of that too, and that is not
that's not right.
Not the way to go.
And so we walk into a doctor's office who, I'm sorry, I have to say it, who is obese. A pediatrician. And he checks on Mila, breathe for me, whatever. And then she's in the room and he says, Mila! And he was doing it jokingly with her, thinking that she'll... But I love this girl. I love this girl. Because the way she gave it back to him...
Really? Oh. She's her mother's child.
Oh my God. I'm like, I raised you well, daughter. Like, I'm not worried about you, that's for sure.
That's nice.
So he's telling her, you're a little bit overweight. He did say you're a little bit overweight. And I think you need to lose weight. She was 6. And you have to cut all the sugars. And you have no chocolate, no ice cream, no bad snacks. Those are the exact words. And you gotta go on the bicycle every day for an hour. What? So he gave her a prescription, right? Oh, and no fruit juice. Mila's reaction. She looks at him up and down. She's like, do you do that every day?
No, she did not. Wow.
You're body shaming me, MF. I'm gonna show it to you.
Way to advocate. Yes.
He's like,
what did he say?
Nothing.
Oh.
He was like, no, but I'm still working on it. But you're young, you can do a lot more than I am. I'm a very old man.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man,
there is
so much wrong with this situation. I don't even know where to put all of that.
I had to put my spice on. So I said, you know what? In Arabic,
yeah,
you've well deserved what she told you. And I don't think that's how you need to talk to children
No.
about weight or whatever.
No.
And even if you did want to talk about it, maybe it would have been with the parent in confidence,
Yes.
not in front of the child.
Yeah.
Ciao. See you later.
Wow. And if there's so
I
many...
held it up together because he got it from a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to do anything.
No, that's
that point.
amazing that she said that to him. I'm so proud of her.
I'm like, how could you, man?
I know, but people don't think, and doctors don't think. I changed one of my son's doctors very early on, because what I realized is that before there were endocrinologists for children in Dubai that I was aware of, and that we had one that we saw. The first one we found was even in Abu Dhabi. We would go get our A1C checked, as we should. And with type 1 diabetes, your blood sugar is never perfect. And in a child, it's very difficult to manage. And so your A1C will be higher than a person without diabetes. There are clinical international standards that are, clinically acceptable. Of course, we always strive and do our best or whatever. And my son was usually, and this was in the days before CGM, below the international standard. Not by much, but his A1C was, let's say if it was, I don't know, at one time it was like closer to 7, it was like 6.8, and maybe he was like 6.5 or something, which is not an A1C that anyone with a functioning pancreas wants to have. But in the type 1 world, we weren't doing terrible. And he would always lecture me about, he's going to grow up with all these complications and this and that. And the first few times I didn't think much of it. But there was one time my son started to take note. And I could tell he was listening to what the doctor was saying about how horrible
his life was
going to be and how bad his diabetes was being managed. And I'm like, oh no, this is not going to support him in the long run.
No.
Even if he was doing a bad job. And that's where coaching comes into chronic conditions and diabetes. And I was so shocked when the global expert that we were privileged to see in the US, and I was beating myself up before we had gone to him thinking we didn't do so great. And he's like, you know what? Just try again. And, to realize that, oh, wow, this is a lifelong thing, and you do have to keep trying, and you do your best every time. But even if they didn't do their best, and it's quite obvious maybe some of the things that someone is doing, choose your words so carefully. Because that expression that, people may not remember what you say, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
Oh, yeah.
It's so important.
Where's week 2 from here? Pam, thank
Rima,
you. I don't want this to end.
I don't either. This was so fun.
It's just the batteries will die now.
Oh, okay. No, so
leave
it to me to talk until the battery's gonna run out. Mine's still going. Mine's just starting. Got coffee.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just warming up right now. But thank you so much.
No, thank you. It was really great.
Been such a pleasure. I hope people find this useful, and tell us more about what you want to hear about, because that's what we want to bring to you, something that's useful, people. Okay? Love you.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great day.